I got a phone call. I'm off down to Cleveland, and I ended up buying this little thing here, and you got like a 5.5 foot wingspan. You got the on-off switch, you got 2 servos, and it's like new, it's never been flown. So I got to put 1 more servo in, and the motor, which I've got the motors coming, I've got the tank coming, and I've got the other bits upstairs. I just need 2 wires to go in to move the controls. So I'll buy them online in a minute, and they should be on their way. And fingers crossed we get that one flying with the engine. I'll show that again when I get the engine done, when the engine comes. Well, like I said, the plane's never been flown. I need 2 pieces of tubing through here for the elastic bands to hold the wing on, and the wings haven't got no fittings on for the pull things, so they're all in there. The wires are in there, just plastic ones. I just can't make the ends up for it. So we found these that'll go on the wing and bolts here. I've got the bolts here somewhere, little bolts and screws to hold them on, and I've made the 2 ends up there which go in the servo in. So that's where the servo is. Just got to put these on the back on the rudder and the elevator, and I'm in business. Okay, I'm waiting for these 2 units to go off. Been up here a few hours tonight, and well, I said a few hours, a little while, and I put the arms on, I don't know what they call them, to work the rudder and the elevator. So that's that ready to go. And I've made the 2 arms up that are in there now, but they're in backwards obviously, until I can cut the other ends tomorrow and match it up on there. Anyway, so end this tonight, I think. I've had enough. Well, today I've come up and put the servo cables back in. This end is done and they're running nice and free. And I'm just about to take this off. I've done the screws. Hopefully it'll lift off now. It feels a little bit tight, but I think it's where it ain't been off. But I'm hoping there's a switch in there. I'm hoping the wires are on there. Save me having to rewire them. So anyway, fingers crossed. Yes, bonus. It's coincidence. Something made me buy a battery pack the other week, and I've made it up now. It'll do perfect for this. I've got a tank coming to go in there, and I've got the servos in the other box. As I say, receivers. I've got receivers and stuff coming out of the bloody wheel here. I've got 2 4 receivers and speed controllers, but I don't need them for this. I could put one in if I wanted to, but cut the motor wires off like I did on another one some time ago. But no, I won't put one in. There's more stuff to go wrong. And if I wanted, I could do 35 meg, but I'm not going to bother. As I said, I've got speed controllers coming out my ears here. Receivers, it's free there. I might buy a new transmitter. Anyway, let me get on with this now and I'll show it later. I'm just going to finish these now. Connect them to the wings. Well, the 2 little servo arms have got to go fitting onto a piece of cable that goes through from the servo like that, and that needed to go into there and it wouldn't go in, so I just brought these 2 out on a grinder and I ground them. Now they go inside there, and I'm going to take that protector off there. There's enough thread on there for adjusting on both of them. Anyway, didn't take me long. Okay, so I've cut that off now. So in the elevator center position, that goes into that tubing that it's got to lock into here. But now I've got to try and mix up some silicone to join that into there without making a bloody mess. You know what I'm like. Anyway, let's see how it comes out. There's number 1 fitted. Just leave it now and let it go off. And then I've just fitted these in. The hinges were in, but they weren't glued. So they're in now, they're glued, and I'll finish that side when I have me dinner. Well, this evening, okay, so I've come up in the room to play for 10 minutes. I'm gonna see what the engine's like, make sure, see how it's gonna fit in me plane over here. Okay, so I've fitted another servo in there, but the servo arm's about to screw down the cut off. Well, I've added in another model, but that's only to go through there to the engine in here for the throttle, which is this little bar here. So that's only got to go from there to there, so that'll be plenty strong enough when I just mix that around. Now, 20 years ago, the last time I was flying with these models, there's 2 bits of wood. I'm going to clean up all this Barbie area, all this working area, sorry. Those 2 bits of wood went in there and they stayed there. Over the years, all the stuff I've chucked out, everything stayed there, and for some reason that bit of ply stayed there. It's still there to this day. And these 2 bits of wood. And as it turns out, I don't know if you can see in there, there's the piece there along the back cutting on this side, the piece there along the front cutting on this side. The other bits is held by clamps at the moment, because I just put them in with PVA. That's for the engine mountings. But you tell me, why have I had them covered me all those years? Those 2 bits of wood were a perfect fit. Perfect fit, look at it, the outside bit. And here, perfect fit for the gap for the motor to sit in. Anyway, I'll wait for that to dry till tomorrow now. I won't fix the servo in until I know that the cable's going to line up and get the servo set at whatever height I want. Same as I got to go down and look up now what mountings I want on their engine mountings, little vibrating mountings, or do I just screw it to the wood? Let's go and do some checking online. I've got to fix the dowels in, that hold the wing. Now, I can't see where they've marked them, but on there's holes there and here. So I'm not going to buy dowel because it's too bloody dear, same as Borsal wood now. The price of it is unbelievable. So I'm going to use carbon fibre, which will be just as good, stronger in actual fact. So let's get on with that and I'll show you after I finished. Okay, so there you go. The holes were already there. I just had to poke through the casing and mash the tubes in. This one here is in the right place as well. But now this one, I hook this forward so we don't pull tight on the, it ain't going to rip down. It's going at an angle over the front of the airfoil. And this one here is more of an angle. But because the wing might not want to come back, I might have to put a retainer on here. So when the wing's in, it goes in and clips in. See what I mean? When it goes in here, give you a demonstration. If that's the wing, instead of just sitting it on there and then wrapping elastic bands around, I want to make it so it goes on like that and then back, and there'll be a retainer over there. So it's don't want to put the retainer on the front, because if it goes in heavy, you want the front to you want the bloody right 5-foot wing to shoot off without breaking anything. Anyway, that's the dowels done. Took all of 20 minutes. Okay, tonight before tea I've tested the engine mountings. They're nicely spaced apart for the engine to go in, and but because there's 2 pieces on the front here, it's going to make it awkward for drilling. So what I've done, I put 2 pieces of really hard, don't know what to call it really. It's not plastic, it's not rubber, it's in between, but it don't rot. So I put that on and I glue them on with epoxy resin. So it's when they're in place, they make it easy to drill, and fingers crossed. So I need to let that go off with the tubing now. So I'll go have my tea and that'll be off by later on tonight. Okay, the next step now is to make a board. I can mount the engine and mount the engine in a tank on, and then when the propeller comes I can take it out in the garage and start it up. I just needed 4 bolts, so I'd gone down the garage, and thank God I turned up 4 of these and 4 big spacers. So hopefully I'll mount that later on. Okay, another day, another dollar. So tonight I've come in and I've mounted the engine and the fuel tank. I've ordered another fuel tank because this one's a little bit too big to go in the plane. I've sorted out a glow plug, but now I need an extension to unscrew the glow plug. I've got another glow plug coming, but I'm hoping that glow plug's okay. So as soon as we get the propeller now, that clamped in the voice, and bang, fill out with a bit of fuel and away we go. So for now it's another day over. Before I forget, you see the throttle linkage. There's the throttle. There's the little linkage I've got on there. That's not the one that'll go on when I'm doing the engine, but that's the one that'll do it for now. For tomorrow. And it's pretty stiff on there, so it should stay there without vibrating. There you go, set to test it, so let's get a prop. Well, it's Friday and the prop never come, so I'm hoping it'll come tomorrow. But in the meantime, anyway, I went down the garage and I made myself a glow plug spanner. It's just my extension with a hole drilled through it, and that will do my glow plug. And then I'll bang the glow plug igniter on and we'll see if we're getting it hot. Hopefully it's working, if not I've got another glow plug coming. So let's do that for now and see what's happening. We've got a few houses up on our main road that chuck stuff out when they don't want it. They leave it on the front gate for people to take. I've seen this box. I opened the box up, brought it home, and it does work. I'll show you it working now. Then I plugged the adapter in to the thing, and there's a little drill, and if you hit the top of the button, it runs and stays running without holding the button. If you hit the bottom of the button, it runs, stops and starts when you come off. I was saying, until the propeller comes, I can't run this engine up, because all the propellers I got are electric, and they wouldn't last 2 minutes out there. And I can't even make one up because I wouldn't balance it. But I thought what I'd do is, the next job I've got to do is drill the holes for the engine mounting, and in that bit of wood I can't afford to get it wrong. So that little Dremel I got, I just done 4 little holes, as neat as hell, and no trouble at all. So mounting that engine is going to be a piece of cake. Anyway, for now there's nothing else I think of doing tonight, so sit back and have a rest. Okay, as the I'll be running off the packs. I only want 4.8 volts. So that's 4.8. That pack's 4.8. So I can run off they're only two together for safety. But I can run off of that pack and that pack. Well, I've made a joiner up here which joins onto there, and that'll give me double the life, same voltage but double the lifetime. So it depends how long they last, whether I use the lead or just put them in like that. Anyway, here you go. Okay, so we've got the engine all running and up together now, and this afternoon we've come in here and now we've fitted the tank. Tank fits in there, and now I just got to work out, and the engine got to be mounted. But before I mount the engine, I want to work out where I'm going to put the receiver and all the other gubbins. So anyway, there you go. Let's get on with that and I'll show you it as we go. But the tank's okay there. I've got a bit of Velcro to hold it in place. So I'll put another piece of Velcro on here that clips against there. So it's something you can rip off of there to pull the tank out. I bought a tank in the end rather than make one because it fitted perfectly in the hole. I just had cut a little bit out for the leads to come through. But the leads now are going to go through to the front, or wherever I'm going to put the receiver. I don't know yet, so I'll let you know as we go. Okay, now I drilled out 3 lots of holes in boards now for engine mounts, and every time the bolts have gone in perfect. I've got a little Dremel here now to drill the holes with, which is easy because you can tell it's outright. And now I'm terrified of drilling into here. But it's got to be done. If I balls it up, I'll just have to cut all that out and put an engine mount in. You know, one with 2 fins on. But that's the deal ready to go because they're asking a lot of money for them stupid bits. Anyway, I'll drill it later. And for now, I've got to get the engine off of there, take the fuel tank off, put that away safe, and then think about drilling this. The next thing I thought about now is the battery pack. The battery pack won't be able to go in the back here unless I extend the wire to dump site more, but I'm hoping I can put it in here. And what I'm thinking of is in against there. Now, depending on how much weight I need, if I need weight forward, I'll lay the battery down or move it forward. But I'm going to cut a piece of foam. It fits in there perfect. Only lightweight foam, not this type of foam, but the sponge type. And then wherever that mounts best for the balance in that foam, that's where it'll go. So it'll just squeeze in and it'll sort of hold in the foam. So that's another problem I've got to sort. And then, as I say, the receiver. So anyway, let's go. This battery pack, by the way, is a battery pack that I made up. And as you can see, it's two separate packs that go into one. But I made this lead. So I'm going to try flying with one pack and see how well it flies, because that's all the voltage I need for the servos. But to get the amount, you know, the volume out of the battery, I've got this unit I've made up, so as I can plug that into them too, and I've got double the volume, same voltage, double the volume. Anyway, that's another bit we've got to see how to do it. It's just getting the order to do it in. I don't want to mess it up. Let me get one go at this. I took the mount inside, the engine fits in there perfect. It's nice and packed against each side. I've marked the 4 holes and she fits in, she's just right. The only thing is, when the spinner goes on, I might have to take a bit off the spinner because it's not going to be much room on the front because the engine won't stick out far enough. But I'm going down to my tea now. I've got a little Dremel ready to go with a small drill, and I'll put the bigger drill in after. I must admit I'm terrified because I only get one go at this, and if I mess this up, I'm going to have to cut all that out and buy a mounting to go on the back, which I don't really want to do. I'd better mount it from there because these sides are really thick, made to do the job. Okay, we'll see that after tea. Let's go and have tea first.